we start our in-cab inspection, we want to, after we do whatever's done on the outside of part of our inspection, and we do an operational light check for the truck, your examiner will come get in the truck with you, and we'll start our in-cab inspection at that time. We're going to check to make sure we got all of our emergency equipment, that we got 3 reflective triangles, properly rated and filled fire extinguisher, and extra fuses and circuit breakers. We're going to check our seat, make sure it's set for us. I want to make sure I can reach everything on my dash and touch everything. I'm going to check my seat belt. I'm making sure it's not cut and it's not frayed, not damaged, that it does lock. I'm going to check my driver mirrors, making sure they're clean, they're set for me. My passenger mirrors, same thing, that they're clean, set for me. I want to check my windshield. I'm making sure there's no cracks, no damage, no illegal stickers on my windshield. I want to check my steering wheel. Make sure I don't have more than 2 inches or 10 degrees play. I'm going to check my city horn and my highway horn. All right, now I'm going to do what's called a safety start. I'm going to make sure my brakes are set, my truck's back in neutral, cover my brake, turn my key on. I'm looking for my ABS light to come on and go off. Once it does that, then I'm going to go ahead and start my truck. First thing I want to check is I'm going to go ahead and turn my headlights on. I'm checking for my high beam and my low beam to work. Left turn signal, right turn signal, and my 4-ways. Check my windshield wipers, make sure they're working, and I'm also going to check the fluid levels in them. Make sure my fluid's working. Turn that back on. Then I'm going to go into my gauges. The first thing I want to check is my water temperature. My water temperature should run between 190 and 210. My voltage should run between 12 and 14. My fuel level should match what's in my tank. My DEF fuel should have at least 1/8 of the tank. My oil pressure should run anywhere from 20 to 60. And my air pressure should run anywhere from 100 to 140. And I'm actually listening for that sound right there, that blow-off valve. Now that tells me my maximum pressure is about 130. I'm going to check my heat and my air. I'm going to make sure I put it on the mix. Make sure that I've got air blowing on the dash, up on my windshield, and I got air blowing on the floor. I'm going to check my differential, make sure it's in the unlock position, and my 5th wheel is in the lock position. All right, and I got everything covered on my dash now. I'm going to go into what's called my brake check, my tug test. I'm checking to make sure all my brakes are going to work. This is my parking brake or my tractor brake. I'm going to turn it off, leave my trailer brake on, put the truck in gear. Now I'm just going to do a little light tug on my trailer. I'm going to set my parking brake back and turn my trailer brake off. Now I'm going to check my parking brake. This is my tractor brake. I'm checking to make sure my tractor brake's going to work okay. Now I'm going to turn them both off. I'm going to let my truck run about 5 miles an hour. Don't touch your steering wheel. Then I'm going to check my service brake. My steering wheel shouldn't have moved left or right when I hit my brake. Now both brakes are turned off. I got to remember my engine needs to be off, and my engine off, and my brakes off to do my air brake check. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my key to the off position. Let the truck stop. Turn it right back to the on position without starting the engine back. The first check I want to do is called a leakage rate test. I want to check my leakage rate by, I'm going to make sure it doesn't leak more than 4 psi in 1 minute. I'm going to hold my foot on the brake, and I'm going to ask my examiner to time me for 1 minute, and it shouldn't leak more than 4 psi in that minute. and I'll hold it until he tells me to let go. At any point in time, don't reach up and touch anything. I'll hold it until he tells me to stop. Then once he tells me to stop, I'm gonna just let off the brake. I don't want my truck to roll, so I'm just gonna keep it lightly on there. My second check I want to do is called a low air pressure warning check. That should come on somewhere around between 50 and 60 pounds of pressure on my gauge here. And also, I should have told you in the beginning that my maximum pressure before I started this test should have been 130 before I started. But my next check will be a low air pressure warning check. I'm going to go ahead and bleed the air out of the system until I get somewhere around 55 to 60 pressure, and I should get my alarm to go off. The next check I want to do is called a spring brake check. I want to make sure that somewhere between 20 and 40 pounds of pressure, both of these valves are going to pop out. That'll make sure my truck's going to stop me if I lose air out on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and bleed the air out of the system until both of my valves pop out. At any point in time, don't reach up there and touch them. If you're not sure that you want to push them out, don't touch them. Then just ask your instructor to do it. And at that point, once they pop out, I'm going to go ahead and do my second safety start. I know my brakes are set. I'll put it back in neutral, start my truck back up. Now it's going to take me a few more minutes for my air pressure to build back up to the level I need it to. So while I'm doing that, I'm going back over everything on my dash, just mentally thinking about everything. Did I cover everything over here I needed to cover? My dashboard, my steering wheel, my blinkers, my mirrors. Did I get my 3 brake checks done right? Did I get my 3 air brake checks done right? I got a tractor brake, trailer brake, service brake. Then I got a leakage rate test, a low air pressure warning check, and a spring brake check. And once I'm satisfied I've got everything done that I want it done, I'm going to tell him I'm finished. And at that point, he'll say, okay, and he'll tap it. But you make sure that you're absolutely sure that you're finished. Because at any point in time you make a mistake or you need to start over, just ask permission to start over. It is a pass and a fail, but it's not an absolute. So at any point in time, you ask for permission to do something again, he'll grant it for you as long as he knows that you just missed something. That's your in-cab inspection.